It is a new week. It is a new week, and I hope that you enter this new week with new expectations. To all of the daughters out there who struggle or are battling fatherlessness, I want to welcome you to our safe space. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your host, Kayla Williams, also known as K Will Speaks on the social networks. And I am super excited to be here with you all today so that we can discuss expectations versus reality. So last week we talked about how to balance expectations. And the reason why we want to balance our expectations is so we can reduce those disappointments, right? Reduce those disappointments, learn to build and maintain healthy relationships, and overall be able to check ourselves when we have set either too low or too high of expectations. So I am excited today to really just dive in deeper into the expectations conversation. And I have a special guest here with me today who will be joining us on this live. And I am excited to announce that John Patrick will be here to join whenever he decides to connect to join, okay? So with that being said, y'all, I just want to go through what we learned last week, right? Last week was really important because what we've been discussing over the past couple of weeks are the issues, the struggles, the symptoms that many fatherless daughters deal with. And even though you may not identify as fatherless right now, or you're not sure if you identify as fatherless, one thing that I have learned and I will continue to learn is that overcoming daddy issues, overcoming the effects of growing up with an absentee father is a lifelong journey. There will always be triggers. There will always be moments when you have to check yourself first. When you legit have to check yourself, when you start to realize the patterns and the behaviors and the cycles that either you are being put into or the ways that people are treating you are the same. So, and then when I say are the same, the way that people are treating you is not how you should be treated, okay? And I believe that has a lot to do with the fact that our expectations as young women who grew up having to learn how to father herself, having to learn how to love herself and protect herself, because we had to put all that energy into just surviving, we never were able to thrive. So sis, if you're here today, you are here because you have said, I don't care what my life circumstances have been. It doesn't matter what cards have been dealt to me. It does not matter what my environment looks like, whether my dad was there by choice or not there by choice. That will not dictate the rest of my life. So if you are here today, sis, it's because you have made that commitment. You have made that decision that says, I will become the woman. Okay, let me go back there. I will become the woman of God that I have been called to be. I will not allow my circumstances or the hand that I was dealt to be played in a way that God has not approved of. I won't do it. Because if I do that, then I am saying what's inside of me is not worth being poured into and being released because of the circumstances and the things that I've dealt with. So it looks like Sam Boom Kid has just joined us. And so today, like I said, we're talking expectations versus reality. If you want to know and understand how to better build those healthy relationships, whether it be with your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your friends, your coworkers, whoever it is, if you are running into any type of issue where you are not being treated in the way that you desire to be treated, we're going to talk about expectations again. So, Sam Boom Kid, I am excited to announce your arrival. Whenever you do that thing where you do that thing and I press OK, join in. I'm ready when you're ready. Because I'm ready to jump in today, y'all. I'm ready to jump in because y'all response to me, oh, it's been giving me so much confidence and so much assurance that this is exactly where God has called me to be and exactly what God has, because it's daughters like you that God is like, yes, Kayla, I need you to speak all the way into her heart, all the way into her mind. So, welcome. We have,
Hey.
I need that that noise.
Nah, like you could really get that. Like
I
they
need
got
that.
that. Nah,
And
you can get that.
anytime one of my lit guests come on, I'm just gonna be like,
Facts.
because we lit here. Listen, overcoming daddy issues, overcoming the effects of fatherlessness, learning to build and maintain healthy relationships is not a sad journey. Though there are some hard parts, right? Though it's some painful points that we have to address, at the end of the day, you find fulfillment, okay? And finding fulfillment is way better than going through life empty and filling voids with guys or substances or sex, if you will. I'll say all the things. Y'all know me. I don't hold back. Okay. So, I've talked enough, right? Because I'm like, I had to prepare the minds of the people so they knew, like, y'all, we at a point in time where we can't just be out here acting like we don't matter.
Facts.
You matter so much. Your
This is true.
purpose is so important. You being here is divine. It is intentional. It is on purpose. And when we forget that we matter, that we have integral roles in this war, in this fight, man, the enemy just be like, yes, I got her today. So, all that being said, welcome.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I normally wave when people come in, but I can't because it's you the host, so I need you to do that for me. I need you to wave.
Me to wave? Okay,
I need you to wave at everybody that's coming in because they are all very special. You don't gotta wave at me.
You said wave at everybody because everybody's special, so I'm waving. Period. Don't tell me to do something.
What's up?
Tell me not to
You are blessed to be here in the presence of really God using two people to what can I say? So many things that could possibly be happening here. First off, before I even say anything, like she said, I go by you can follow me on anything at Sam Boom Kid, but I go by John Patrick. My name is John Patrick. My friends call me JP. But first of all, before I say anything, you see the response we get. You see the love we get when we wave.
I'm doing my job.
Exactly. First of all, when I came on here, I knew for sure I was not taking this do-rag off because my hair versus your hair does not compare. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Are you calling me out right now?
Look at your hair. Oh my gosh.
Okay, we have them already.
I'm about to embarrass you right now.
Wait. Okay, y'all. Now,
guys.
Bruh.
Guys. Yo, hey, hey, y'all see Alicia too. Hey, you know who that is right there that said JP?
Who?
That's Twin from Holla. Craig and Tevin.
Oh my gosh, I remember them.
Yes.
Hey Twin, what's up with you?
Yes, he's in the building. What's groovy, man? He's making music too.
That's lit. That's lit.
Yeah, we for sure gotta
work. Welcome everybody. Everybody welcome. Everybody welcome. We're glad to have you here. In case you didn't know, tonight we talking expectations versus reality, okay? And listen, y'all gonna have to stop with that. My God is good. Let me tell y'all, can I just say this real quick before I let it go to you real quick?
My hair has never been that fire. Never. And I've probably been doing I feel like you started like this year or last year.
Let me tell you. Let me break something down for the people real quick, right? And then we go into this. Yeah. So basically, y'all, my lock journey, I'm gonna be real with you, okay? y'all know me. I am the fatherless daughter advocate. That's who Kayla Williams is. When you think fatherless daughter advocate, I need you to think Kayla Williams, okay? And I say that because growing up with an absentee father, I had the lowest of self-esteem. I have been just dissecting what my daddy issues have been. And one of the primary things for me has always been low self-esteem, negative self-image, low confidence, insecurities. And the way that it manifested was that I was seeking validation in any man that I could find that would validate me, that would approve me, that would accept me. And because growing up, if you went to middle school with me, you know that I had a perm, my hair was short, and it was greasy. Okay? Yep. And if you caught me, you always knew I had about 3 of them headbands on and a side ponytail. Okay? That was me. That was me in 5th grade. And the reason why I bring that up is because my entire life, y'all, and nobody knew this, right? Nobody knew this, but my entire life, I would compare the way that I looked. I would compare my physical image to all of the other girls around me. Not only would I do that, but I would compare it to my sisters. And I would look at my sisters with their long, thick, pretty hair. And then I would look at myself in the mirror and I would be like, bro, you ugly. Like, you're so ugly. And not only was I saying, bro, you so ugly, but I didn't have that father figure. I didn't have that man in my life saying, that's a lie.
You're beautiful.
You are beautiful. Okay? I didn't have that. And because I didn't, y'all, I'm telling you, from before I could remember to up and through about 22, 23, when I decided that I was going to lock my hair, all throughout that time, my hair journey was me trying to find my identity, was me trying to find the beauty that I had been searching for. So I would get the perms. I would get the freestyle braids. I even tried the lace fronts, y'all. And y'all know I'm low-key, high-key, frugal, cheap. And so I didn't get the expensive lace fronts, okay? So I was looking crazy, okay? I have a picture of me in my sophomore year in college, the first day of school, and I had this lace front, and like, it was cute for like a week, but because it was cheap, it didn't last that long. So I'm out here trying to look like everybody else, trying to play a part because I don't know my own role. And all this time, I'm trying to fill the voids in my own heart, okay? Mind you, I got the lace front wig because I expected it to make me look more beautiful. I expected it to fill the void that said, okay, so now I got this wig like the other girls got it. The guys for sure gonna try to holler at me now. Like, I'm for sure gonna get some of that attention that my friends are getting. But
you not ugly, Pooh. You not ugly.
In reality, y'all, I was out there.
You ain't never been ugly, Pooh.
I seen it.
You ain't never been ugly, period.
But y'all, in reality, like, I was out here looking like an imposter. That wig was like brown at the top, and then it feathered out into like a highlighted brown. It was bad. It was supposed to be ombre, but it was not ombre. And so I say all this to say, y'all, the moment I decided to lock my hair, and I was just telling somebody this today, like, when I decided to lock my hair, it's like my hair was like, finally, you accept me for who I am. Yeah. And that is what not only has my hair journey defined, like, a lot of who I am and how I am, and just accepting all of this natural beauty.
Look
like,
her
God,
flexing.
God didn't when he gave me this 4C, okay? He knew that at 24, I would decide to lock this joint because I would finally see the value in what was already naturally there. I don't have to go get a perm. I don't have to look outside of myself. Everything that you need, God has already put within you. And I want you to, I went here real quick, and I had to sit here real quick because society will tell us that we have to look a certain way to be accepted. Not only will society tell us that we have to look a certain way to be accepted, but when you don't have a father in the home, now you telling yourself, I got to look like society say I need to look, and you can't get that because what society is saying is not achievable. And now you grow up and you're struggling with low self-esteem and insecurities, and you're expecting these guys and these substances and whatever your vices are to fill the void that says, I'm so ugly, I'm so ugly, why does nobody love me? In the whole while, everything that you need, sis, every single thing that you need is already inside of you. But
That's fair.
you have to be able to go through the process, trust the journey, and on the other side of faith, you will find fulfillment. You will find fulfillment, okay? Because I love my life.
Right. Nah, you've been flexing.
Bro.
You see, I got mine up because I'm trying to preserve it as long as possible before I get it redone.
Yeah.
You is flexing over there like them. That hair looks amazing.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie.
I
It
appreciate
looks
it.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I do. And you know, people love when you come on. Like, you so popular. And you know, I was thinking in my head, like, people are probably wondering, like, why is she bringing a guy on here, you know, to talk about fatherless daughter issues and things like that. And I say this, and I'll answer your question, GMD skinned. I'll for sure answer your question. But the thing is, and why I want y'all to know this, ladies, why I bring JP on is because it wasn't until, and I'm just being straight up with y'all, it wasn't until I saw a young man that loved God, right, and that was actively seeking God. It wasn't until I was introduced to that my perspective on what was available started to change. So I think it's so important for us as young women who are probably recovering from seeking validation in men, recovering from disappointments and hurts that we felt from guys who have said they loved us for a moment, got what they needed, and then dipped. It's so important for us to see that not all guys are like that. And so I love to take he on because he is a man of God first. And that don't make him perfect. That don't make me perfect. But what it does make us is servants to a God and a Father who accept us in all of our imperfections. So with that being said, I'm going to tell GMD your name. I want to tell you that, like, if you've been trying to grow out your hair and it doesn't work, a lot of it, honestly, and this is just a hard side note, and y'all know me. There's something to everything. My hair did not start growing until I stopped trying to make it something that it wasn't. So I was putting products in my hair that my hair was like, bro, this is not for me. I was doing things to my hair that, because I didn't understand the type of hair that I had, that it was not going to respond anyways. And it's a lot like that in our personal lives. Like, until you start to actually understand who you are as a person, you're going to be trying things left and right, but it's going to be like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to fit. It's not going to work because it's not for you. So I'm not sure, like, if you're natural, if you have a perm, or like what you got going on, but I would definitely encourage you to, like, do some research on the type of hair that you have, like some of the things that you struggle with your hair, whether you have a dry scalp or whatever it is. I say all this to say it's transferable. It's transferable when we're talking about daddy issues as well. Like, if you understand that guys are using you and then misusing you and then leaving you, if you understand that you can be passive aggressive sometimes, if you understand that you oftentimes deal with disappointments, look at all of the symptoms of what you're experiencing, and from those symptoms, do your research. Figure out what those symptoms have in common. And once you figure out what those symptoms have in common, look for the solution to that. Google works. I'm telling you, Google works. So, side note, but I really wanted to answer that because hair is important. Though we are not our hair, it has a lot to do with who we are. So, all that being said, JP, what's good with you?
I'm feeling blessed. I'm just, I feel like I just got a front seat experience. I'm just listening. I'm just tuned in. I'm just here to encourage. I'm just here to hype you up because you smoking right now. You are on fire, literally. I love it.
The people need to know. They need to know.
Yes, and
So tell us, JP. Last week we gave a statistic, and that statistic was according to the U.S. Census Bureau that says only 68% of children will spend their entire childhood with an intact family. So only 68% of kids will grow up with a mother and a father who are married in their household.
mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts? What are your particular thoughts on that? Um, what did you expect? Did you expect for that number to look like that? 68% of children growing up with an intact family.
Honestly, if we're being real, I have questions about that statistic.
Mm-hmm.
One, I want to know what the demographics of that statistic entail, because I feel like there's a lot of privileged people a part of that. Because if we really get down to it, let's say we get down to just straight black. Let's say I'm not just saying that's the only one that matter, but if we go straight to black, I do not believe that 68% of black children have an intact family, mom and dad structure going on in the house, that two-parent household. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't believe that. Not only that, what I further want to see is what is the true, what other statistic follows that. So,
Yeah.
okay, 68% are intact families. So what is the benefit of that intact family? Is there any statistics to show the grave difference? I know there's a difference,
Mm-hmm.
but I want us to be able to quantify that, and so it's something that can be seen on paper. Like,
Yeah.
you see what happens when you have two parents
Uh-huh.
that love or care enough to try to love
Mm-hmm.
each other, and then you see what happens when you don't have that on the opposite end. So
Yeah.
I would love to see that, because I have my own personal experiences, my own personal friends stories. I know that, but I would love to see. I see 68, I'm like, that ain't for blacks, that ain't for black,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
that's something that hit me. It has hit me my whole life. My parents are Nigerian. So born and raised in America. I was born in an American world, but still in a Nigerian home, in a
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian community. So I kind of got both sides. But one thing that I saw growing up was, I always noticed like a dad was missing, or I always noticed uh it was just something weird, not weird, but different about my household and my friend's household. You know what I'm saying? Some things I couldn't do in my house because I know that my dad is upstairs, or I know my mom is on the way home. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah.
that for everybody. Everybody didn't have that. So we was doing whatever we wanted to do. I was going
Yeah.
to other people's house to misbehave because I know it would never fly at my house. You know what I'm saying? My best friend from first grade to eighth grade, and only reason why we not best friends is because we just fell off after I moved away from Ailey. But
Yeah.
he, like, everything about his family dynamic and my family dynamic was very similar, except the dad, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we both had, I think it got so like eerie to the point, like, our moms are the same age and we both have three sisters.
Uh-huh.
He has a little brother, but his little brother's on his dad's side. I
Yeah.
have a little brother as well, but we're all in the same house. So I always noticed that difference. I always noticed what a difference that makes. And but at the same time, I said, I want to know them statistics, because I know it could be bad, but at the same time, I know that adversity, that lack of, produces a different type of
Oh, for sure.
something in people,
Yeah.
like in those kids. Like, it's like you could either go either way.
Yeah.
You can go either way. That lack of having that father, it could either crush you and keep you down, or it can like give you some type of like Spider-Man, like you get bit by something and you're just a different
Yeah.
your path in life, everything that's your mindset, everything has actually been amplified
Yeah.
because of that lack. And so I said a lot, but I want to bring it back. I want to bring it all the way back. So I want to say this. Me, Kayla, polar opposites when it comes to this situation.
It's true.
Me and those of you who are a part of the exact demographic that Kayla is literally advocating for,
Yeah.
the fatherless daughters, we are polar opposites. One, because I'm not a daughter, first of all.
Yeah.
Two, because I have never been fatherless.
Mm-hmm.
I felt fatherless before,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a whole different story. But I've always had, my parents have always been married, been together since before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say that all I can do is offer a different perspective.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you that, I cannot say anything about your perspective. I cannot say anything about your experience. And I refuse to pass judgment on any other experience other than my own, because all I know is what happens with me.
Yeah.
However, we're polar opposites, right? But why are we dealing with the same issues? Why are we dealing with the same issues? And I want y'all to think about that question, even write it down. Why is it that we're all dealing with the same issues? Why? And I'm going to answer that, but later. I'm not going to answer that right now. I want you to think about it on your own. Why could a fatherless daughter and a fatherful son be dealing with the same exact issues? I just want you to think about it. Some of y'all might already know. I already know why, but think about that. All right.
Yeah.
Now, back. Okay. So growing up, I've seen it. Right, man. This guy. I say some dad. He like, oh nah, not my dad, or no, my dad not. No, not my dad. I've seen it growing up. It never really just pierced me though. You know what I'm saying? Like being Nigerian, we don't have, Nigerian fathers aren't the typical movie loving, throw you up in the sky and catch you dad.
Mm-hmm.
But they have pride in them that they must provide, that they must, like, it's something pride. So we weren't lacking in that sense. But let me tell y'all, when it really hit me, slapped me, stabbed me, hurt me, I'm sitting, I'm and this is why I know that me being a teacher has nothing to do with what I want to do or what I ever could imagine. That was completely all God. I'm sitting in my one of my, probably my first year getting into education. And education, I went to Prairie View. Education is filled with women, right? It's filled with women. It's so crazy. Oh man, God. Oh my God. Listen, guys. All right.
Just
So
go there. Just go there.
Education is majority women. As a matter of fact, in America, only 2% of teachers are Black men. All right, only 2%, less than 2%. Actually, I'm rounding up. It's like 1.9, 1.8, something like that. Less than 2% of teachers in America are Black men. It is majority women in education. Think about that. It's majority women that are teaching and passing down everything that's in them to our future kids, right? That's not a problem though. I love seeing Black women in education. I love seeing women in education because they have a certain type of like heart that they gonna fight. They gonna fight for you. I love it. It was 2 Black women especially that really changed my life in middle school. That really showed me that love. But so imagine this. It's me. Maybe it might be 2 other guys in the class, but I think it was really only one. But I remember there was 2 other guys that was with us in the same course, but I don't know about this day. So we're having a book club. Like, all right, so it's like a party, right? We're celebrating the end of the year, and it's like a book club, a book club, just to kind of, make it okay that we're celebrating, right, in the class. So I'm setting the scene for y'all. It's maybe 30 women and maybe 2 guys, right? So 2 guys. It was me and a Hispanic guy. So we're reading the book, and well, no, we're not reading the book. We're like talking about the book, and a question, something in the book had to do with the girl, not her dad, not being there, right? So something made me ask, no, that's not what it was. I kept hearing a reoccurring like answer, like, oh, because when I was a kid, my stepdad. I kept hearing stepdad.
Yeah.
I kept hearing stepdad over and over again. I kept hearing stepdad. That's something I've never had to experience. So that's why for me it kept standing out. Stepdad, my stepdad. Oh yeah, because my stepdad, I had a good stepdad. My stepdad was terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I was like, can I please ask a question? I said, how many people in here, and it's mostly women, how many people in here did not grow up with their biological father? I'm literally getting chills right now. Right now. Because majority of the women in this class, I think it might have been something I can count on my hand. Majority of the women in this class all raised their hand.
Yeah.
They each had a different story about how they either didn't know their dad, or their dad left when they were young, or their mom demonized their dad. So by the time they got old enough to realize what was going on, they already had internal hatred towards their dad or resentment towards their dad. But it was just too many reoccurring stories of women, especially Black women, that did not have that man, that male figure growing up. And you know what is the problem? Instead of having the one that was supposed to be there for them, they got a cheap replacement of whatever their mom chose to try out. And I don't even want to make it seem like the mom was just loosey-goosey. These moms are just loosey-goosey.
Can I pause you for a second, right?
Jump
because
in.
you right in everything that you said. There is a statistic, and I've said this before, y'all, and this is the reason why I do this. This is the reason why I'm here. Is because the statistic says that if you are a woman who grew up fatherless, you will end up having a child who will also grow up fatherless. The cycle that began will continue. And there are fatherless families out here. I can go back 4 generations and I see no men in 2020.
Great grandmother, grandmother, mom.
Period. And so all that to say, like, it's so deep, y'all. It's so deep that even when a woman is pregnant, if the baby's father is not around to support her, the mortality rate of the child increases.
Wow.
Before you even had your baby.
Wow.
The baby in the womb is fatherless. And it's already feeling the impacts of that. Y'all, it's so deep. It's so deep. And so when I come on here every week, when I tell y'all take them surveys, go to discoverpieces.com. When I tell y'all the stories of my experiences, my testimonies, when I talk about the pain points that you may be ready to address or may not be ready to address, it is because if you want your children to experience a life that is different from yours, if you want your children to know what it means to actually have a father who is present and loving, that is not God, there are choices and decisions that have to be made today that says, you know what? I am going to choose to find fulfillment outside of my fatherlessness. In spite of growing up with an absentee father, I will be the chain breaker. I will be the cycle breaker. I will be the curse breaker. I will bring about a new generation of women and men into my bloodline. That's what I'm saying, y'all. That's what I'm saying. And so when I talk expectations versus reality, bro, you have to expect that you will be the change that your family needs to see. Because reality actually says that today, Kayla should have been a teenage mom. I'm about to be 26 at the end of the month. I should have about 3 kids from 3 different daddies, because my mama, she had 3 kids. So by this time I should have been a teenage mother with about 2 other kids. And not only that, but I should also be in an abusive relationship right about now. Like, I should be in a toxic and abusive relationship, because I'm looking for that man to be the protector, but because he didn't have it. Let me tell y'all something. Because he didn't have a daddy, he don't know how to treat me. And because I didn't have a daddy, my expectation has not been set to be treated a certain way. So if we out here wondering, why am I going through and encountering the same issues with men, with friends, with co-workers, with family members, with my mother, with my stepdad, with my actual dad? Like, why am I encountering the same issues? It's because as fatherless daughters, your expectation, you were never taught expectation. Right. The only expectation that you had is that nobody was going to be there for you. So you had to figure it out for yourself. And you being a child having to figure it out for yourself, what you going to work with? Exactly. You don't have nothing to work with. So your reality is a result of your lack. Yeah. Your lack of teaching, your lack of protecting, your lack of being provided for, the lack of being told that you are beautiful, so much lack. And I know I just stole the show. I'm gonna pass it back. You can't steal your show. You can't steal your show. I'm just wondering how much time. Well, how we on time? Talk to me on time. It's 8:37. I think we started at 8. We probably got like 9 minutes, I think. 9 minutes. Or maybe 20 minutes. Maybe I'm lying and it's an hour. I think it is an hour. I just didn't know if you wanted to go an hour. You know I was trying to go 30 minutes, but That's what I'm saying. We was just chatting it up the whole first half of the episode. We out here playing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because what I want to say is, yeah, I want to know if I have time. Yeah, man, just go. We out here. This work for the Lord. Somebody on here tonight need to understand the difference between expectations and reality, and they need to learn how to set those expectations so that we as women don't fall into the trap that fatherlessness sets, right? Because it's a trap. And you were talking earlier about, you want to know what the impacts are, right? Of being a part of the 68% that grew up with an intact family versus being a part of the 32% that did not grow up with an intact family. And some of the research that I have done, and really, y'all, this whole series that I'm doing, this whole Dear Daughter series that we're having here, why I tell you to go to discoverpieces.com, it is because the effects of growing up with a broken family, because the father is not around, y'all, it's deep. It's deep. There's a quote that says that when a father abandons his daughter, he takes a piece of her soul with her. Oh, so no. For the rest of her life, she is trying to fill that piece, that void, that fill that void. Yeah. And that leads to so many things. It leads to poverty. It leads to a mother who may have grown up fatherless, now trying to be a mama and a daddy, also working 2 and 3 jobs. It leads to criminal records, right? Like, because you don't have a dad in the household, you're susceptible to more things. You're susceptible to drug abuse. You're susceptible to being raped and molested because a non-biological parent is in the house, right? You feel me? There are so many things, y'all. So many things. Yeah. So many things. We just got to choose the battle. We just got to choose the battle, because we could talk. We could talk for hours. Yeah, man. Thank you. So you go. You keep talking expectations versus reality, man. Like, help every woman on here understand, like, as a man, what your perspective is, as far as like when you're dealing with women, like, how do you establish, or how do you even know what a woman's expectation is when you interact with them? Is that that's the question.
Okay, so I'm gonna get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Women's expectation. I'm gonna get to that, but it's something you said that I really want to talk about,
Talk
and
about it.
it's about the cycles, right?
Talk
The
about
thing
it.
about a generational cycle curse is it's not weak, it's not timid, it's not let me just it's not one of those things you could just rip off the shirt. You could let me just it's not one of those. A generational cycle wants you to believe that it's stronger. It's stronger. It's too strong, right?
Yeah.
So the problem that happens is you big and bad, like, I'm gonna break this cycle. And then you go breaking it without the foundation of the only thing that can break it, and you go into it with this fierce ferocity of I'm gonna destroy the cycle, and all you doing is hammering at something that will never break. Why? Because you're gonna end up right at the same spot. I've seen so many situations, like you said, the girl was fatherless, right? So she's being so stiff with every guy. The one guy that she allows into her heart. The one. Boom, puts a baby in her. Boom, dips.
Mm-hmm.
How your whole life can you fight? And this don't have to be no teenage mother at all.
Yeah.
This could be 25. This could be 30. The one time. Why? Because there has to be you want to fight something that's spiritual? You cannot fight it physically. You can't even fight it mentally. You have to have a greater spiritual force to fight that thing. Or all it's doing is laughing at your vain attempts to break this thing. So I said all of that to say, guys, you got to, if and I'm saying, guys, ladies, whoever's listening, you got to understand that you got to get right spiritually if you really care about breaking this spiritual curse. That was just something that just really just hit me. The next thing I wanted to say was what I say. I don't even know. I can't even read my own handwriting.
Bring it
but
back
okay.
in, Jesus.
What is expectation? Expectation versus reality, right?
Yeah.
Expectation versus reality. What is reality though? Reality is what you see.
Yeah.
Reality is really whatever you say. All right? Because you could see a man slap a woman and say, what did she do? Or you could see a man slap a woman and say, what is wrong with him? You both seen the same thing. You've seen the same thing. You've seen a man slap a woman. That's the fact of what happened.
Yeah.
But your reality or your personal experience is going to shape your reality to tell you that the first thing you need to ask is, what did she do?
Yeah.
Or you need to check what's wrong with that guy that he's putting his hand on a woman. But it's two people can experience the exact same event and have completely different. If I'm at a concert, if I'm at a festival and I got a boo-boo and my favorite artist is up, but I got a boo-boo, everybody else in there is jumping, lit. Oh yeah. I gotta stay still because if I do too much, it's gonna fall, right? So now my entire experience is ruined, right? Because of something that didn't affect everybody. It just affected me. So when it comes to expectation versus reality, you have the ability to shape your reality. You have the ability to say, okay, this is my expectation. My expectation can't be too high and it can't be too low. So what do I really want it to be? What do I want my reality to be? Because expectations is like, you can some people expect a lot. That's an optimist. Some people expect a little. Those are pessimists. But it doesn't matter what you expect. What matters is what's really happening. What are you really gonna get? You can expect six figures, 6-pack. You can expect all of that. All right. And what you might just get is a 666 devil. That's what you might just get, right?
You know, that's also true too. You know, like
facts. So it's not about necessarily, I need to have, because this is what I don't want to mistake it for. Standards. Standard and expectation is different. Expectation, we can have wishful expectations. We can, of course. We have our fantasies. We have what we what we would like, all right? But your standard is not necessarily the height, but it's the lowest. It's the minimum.
Yeah.
What will you not accept?
Yeah.
That's what your standard should look like. Not that he makes 6 figures, but that he is not a bum. That should be the standard, because you never know what position somebody is in at the time. So if you base me off of who I was 2 years ago, you wouldn't be listening to what I'm saying right now. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to expectation and standard, you got to see the difference. When it comes to standard, you cannot waver on your standard. You cannot. You got to know, what is the minimum that I must have. This is what best suits me. And that is not going to come. That's not going to come from trial and error. I promise you. I promise you. I've tried. It's not going to come from trial and error. It's going to come from you being alone with yourself and your creator. That's it. That's the only way you're going to know what your standards need to be. Because something else.
What would you say to the fatherless daughter, or to the person who's on this live right now that's saying, like, okay, JP, like, I hear you. I get what you're saying, but I don't even know what my standards are. Like, I don't even know what my standards are. I was never taught what a standard should look like. How do we help her today or him today? How do we help them?
So because of this cycle, it's just like the poverty cycle, right? Yeah. I can't if I ain't never learned about investing, I ain't never, and I'm not even talking about just random investing. If I ain't never learned how to practically invest my money or save my money, if I ain't never learned nothing about money, I cannot teach it to somebody else. Yeah. So one thing I do want is for you to have grace for your parents, because if they didn't know, how could they teach it to you? It's not an excuse. Excuse and grace is different. Allowing an excuse is different, right? Grace is saying, no matter what your excuse is, it's okay. Okay? Because you're just a human. All right? That's grace. Allowing excuses is just you're just allowing somebody to convince you otherwise. But when it comes to grace, it doesn't even matter what the excuse is, right? Yeah. So I'm not telling you give your parents an excuse or let them use an excuse, but I'm telling you have grace for your parents, because I can't teach you what I don't know. As a matter of fact, what you need to be doing is, when you figure out, you should be finding out a way to teach your parents, right? And you should be finding out a way, how am I not going to make the same mistake as my parent? You should be having this conversation with yourself, almost like, talk to your future daughter. I cannot wait till I have my daughter in my hands looking up to me saying, Daddy, what do I do? I cannot wait for that moment. I can't wait. I am waiting. I'm waiting. But
we're waiting faithfully on the Lord.
I'm waiting. But I already know it's nothing else that I really, really desire other than being able to do for my daughter, my son, what probably wasn't done for me, or what isn't done for others, right? I know I got to get it right. I know I have no option but to get it right, because if I don't get it right, that's going to set off a domino effect for other generations. I can't say, oh, hopefully my daughter gets it right. Hopefully my son gets it right. No, I got to get it right. And I have to be able to imagine what those conversations are going to look like. I got to think about, how did I need to hear it when I was that age, right? So this is what I want you. This is for those that's listening. That's like, okay, he's hitting some points. But nothing has changed. My mindset hasn't changed. My life hasn't changed. You're telling me stuff I already know. Maybe you don't know this, and I'm bringing it back to the question that I asked you at the beginning. How can Kayla, a fatherless daughter, experience the same struggles as John Patrick, a son with a father? And the reason why is because that guy can never completely do it for you. There's only one way to fill that void, and that is through the Creator. God is the only. There's a reason why all throughout the Bible, and there's a reason why we call him our Father. And there's also a reason why, since the beginning of time, fathers have been pooping it. You know why? Because God is a jealous God. He don't want you to ever think it was the dad that made you this way. He don't ever want you to think it's the dad that made you successful. Why? And he's showing it in a way that I had a dad. Why am I still struggling with the same struggles? Why? Because it's not a human being that can do it for us. And I know it sucks. And that's why I said this is just my perspective. Because I cannot tell you that you not having a dad doesn't matter. It matters big time. But you did have a father. You might not have had a dad. You might not have had a dad your whole life. But since before you were created, you've always had a father. And the thing that happens is if we don't have a father, or if our father is not leading us to the real father, then we are always going to be lacking in something. We're always going to be missing something. And the world is telling us that we're missing that man.
Yeah.
But if you look at what's really going on, because we have standouts, that's why I said how can it be that we need that man if those without that man are still going hard, are still making it, are still succeeding? So it's not that we need that man. It's not that we need that man. That man is very supplemental to our life. That man is there to be a vessel for our true father, right? But it's not that man. That man is only being used, whether he's being used by the father of lies, or he's getting used by the father of all fathers, the king of all kings. Y'all feel what I'm saying? I know some of y'all feel what I'm saying because y'all telling me y'all feel what I'm saying. So look, this is what I'm trying to say. Forget everything else. Forget everything else. Talk to the real father. He's literally waiting. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. He's literally waiting. One day, this girl is going to call on me, and I'm going to be everything and more. That's how I can look at Kayla Williams, and I can see a successful Black woman who not only didn't have her father, but she also had a toxic stepdad in the house. That's even worse. That makes it even worse because the person you're looking to be that replacement is doing the opposite and bringing you down. Y'all gotta feel what I'm saying. This is not even my experience. There was a time where I felt like I didn't have a father, when I felt like my father turned his back on me. There's a time when my dad even told me that. He told me he's washed his hands clean with me because I was not the best behaved student growing up. There's times when my parents kicked me out. I feel like I don't need them. They don't need me. But at the end of the day, we can't keep relying on human beings to fill a godly void. There's no human. I don't care who they are. LeBron James, as great of a dad as, even think about that. Think about that. LeBron James ain't even have his dad. LeBron James to this day don't know who his dad is. He only has speculation. He don't know if his dad is dead or alive. There's all kind of rumors. He does not know who his dad is. However, he's decided in his heart that he was going to be the opposite. How? Where did he learn that from? A woman cannot teach a man how to be a father. I'll say it again. A woman cannot teach a man how to be a father. A woman truly can't even teach a man how to be a man, especially a woman that doesn't have the man there because she hasn't even seen a good example of that man to teach to her son. His mom ain't teach him to be what he is at all. That is the heavenly father coming in through him, bringing him some type of awareness that what you had, you need to give the opposite of that to your kids. And you see LeBron is a great dad. But I can assure you, if we ask Bronny James, if we ask Savannah, if we ask them, is LeBron the perfect dad? They'll tell you, no, he does this, he does this. There's nothing. You cannot find God in a man. Even if you really want them to be that. Even if you truly believe, like, come on, dad, be that. You cannot expect something from someone and think that just because you want it is going to happen. You cannot teach anybody something that they do not want to learn. So it's not, first of all, it's not your fault that your dad was not there. It's not your fault. As a matter of fact, it almost has very little to do with you at all.
Actually,
it almost has.
That's why I say this, like, every time I talk about this, because I've been talking with some of y'all offline, and we've been talking, and y'all say, I don't have daddy issues. Like, You know, it don't matter if my father wasn't around. It's no big deal that my father wasn't around. But let me tell you something, y'all. Overcoming daddy issues, overcoming the effects of growing up without a father has nothing to do with your father.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with your father.
You can't help.
It's everything to do with you.
Yes.
It was me who was graduate from Howard University, magna cum laude, got a good job, got our own apartment, got our own car, successful in the eyes of the world, but was broken. But was broken.
Facts.
Like a record scratching, broken. Okay?
Why we always want the person that broke us to fix us?
Why? Why do we want that? And I can tell you why. Because when you don't know no better, you continue to look to the person that in your mind you expected to be the one that was going to protect you, that was going to heal you, that was going to help you, that was going to keep you. And all those words: protect, heal, keep, guide, lead, save. Can't no man do that.
No.
Can't no man do that.
No, not all the way.
Has done that for me. The one who had faith in me, right? Yeah. The one who saw my substance and it was never hid from him, even in the depths of my sin, even in the depths of my despair, even in the depths of my days of looking to guys to be everything that I needed. God was the answer. He has always been a father to the fatherless. So you overcoming the impacts of growing up without a biological father, without an earthly father, is about you coming to terms with your story. Your story is your story for a reason. You cannot change the past, but what you can do is redirect the future. And the way you do that is by deciding, I actually have always had a father. Yeah. And I'm going to choose to know this father. Yes. To know what he says about me. To understand how he sees me. So because if I understand how he sees me, then I can now understand how I should see myself. And when I start to understand how I should see myself, now I can show people how they should treat me, because I know how to treat me. I know how to receive me. I know what I deserve as a woman. I know what I deserve as a child of God. And because I know what I deserve, I expect you to treat me accordingly. Not only do I expect you to treat me accordingly, but I walk like you need to respect me. I talk like you need to respect me. I act like you need to respect me. And what does that mean? It means that I respect myself, that I value me, that I know who I am, and you and your actions don't define anything about me. You want to know why you and your actions don't define anything about me? Because God has already defined who I am as his daughter, as his child. And so, y'all, we said a lot today. We're going to have to come back. Okay? Because in reality, it ain't enough time on this Instagram Live for us to continue to bless the people. We have 1 minute and 45 seconds. So I'm going to let you close up, and then we're going to get up out here, y'all.
It's crazy. Everybody want to roll in when we closing out. But check this out. Check this out. How y'all doing? Check this out. Everything that was said today is recorded. It's gonna be posted on K Will page. So even if you missed it, tap in regardless. And this is what I want. I want anybody listening to know that if your dad don't care about you, he don't care about you. That's very harsh. But if your dad don't want you, he don't want you. If he don't want nothing to do with you, you can't change that. But I promise you, you got a father that is begging for your attention. Everything you want from that man, there's a God that can give you literally all of that and more, and he actually wants you. Okay? Last thing I'm gonna say.
49 seconds.
This is just a sprinkle, because this is a whole nother topic. I might get on live and talk about this myself. I'm sorry, Kate.
40 seconds.
You gotta understand forgiveness. And I'm not even gonna talk too much about that, but just think about it, because it's a touchy subject. We don't want to forgive, but gotta understand that.
All right, so y'all, we gonna be back. JP gonna be back on this joint, and our
I'm
topic is
not.
gonna
I'm
be
going to
understanding forgiveness.
I love y'all.
We love y'all.
I wish we had more time.
Thank you for coming, y'all. It ain't enough time on this, but we gonna be back. Y'all know, come go to my page.
End it before. End it before. End it before.
At 8 p.m.
End it before.
Love y'all.
End it
Bye
before.
bye.